Are you a L.I.V.E teacher? L.I.V.E teachers not only think outside of the box, they break the box.
Are you a L.I.V.E teacher? A L.I.V.E teacher is someone who never stops learning.
We know that highly efficacious, efficient, and effective educators expect their students to succeed.
Yes, y'all. Watch out!
L.I.V.E, highly efficacious, effective, and efficient educators, is a series of 22 live lessons that focus on different areas of teacher efficacy, advocacy, and support.
L.I.V.E teacher brings fun into the classroom.
L.I.V.E teachers bring excitement to the classroom.
They welcome change into their classroom. They are masters of the subject and the content that they teach. And most importantly, they never stop learning. So again, I ask, are you a L.I.V.E teacher?
We're excited that you can join us, so stay tuned for our upcoming L.I.V.E lessons, and we look forward to learning and growing with you. Thank you.
Yeah, come on. I like that, y'all. The H, the E, the H, the H, the E, the H, the E, the H, the H, the E, I like that, like that. The H, the E, H, E, H, E, Heck yeah. Yes, y'all. Watch out. H-E-Y.
Hello. Welcome everyone to our L.I.V.E summer series. I am Isis Span. I bring you greetings from Moncks Corner, South Carolina. Whether it is your first time joining us or you have been to other of our sessions, we welcome you. We thank you in advance. for your presence and your participation. And Keisha, tag, you're it.
Thank you, Isis. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Today is Tuesday, July 7, 2020, and I am glad that you all have joined us this evening. Who's next? 7A, tag, you're it.
Hey, everybody. Happy Tuesday to everybody. You always know I say I'm from the great state of North Carolina, but I bring you greetings from College Park, Maryland. Thank you guys so much for tuning in with us again today. Tag, you're it, Miss Lavetta.
Hi, everybody. I'm Lavetta Levels from DeSoto, Texas. So excited to be here tonight. Tonight is such a treat. So make sure you share the video. I see a lot of you saying hello today. Hello, Indiana and Houston, Texas. We see you. Hello, Dallas, Texas, Tennessee. See you in Nashville. So hello to everybody that's introducing themselves and telling us hello tonight. We're so glad to have you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So tonight, you all are in for a treat. Again, it's going to be a very informative night. So make sure, again, that you share with your social networks, share. And if you don't get a chance to watch it right now, please remember the video's there. You can come back and view it later. Tonight, we have 3 dynamic presenters, and they're going to share information with us about DREF, the Research Matters for All of Us initiative. They're going to share with you how your participation in biomedical research is essential to creating a healthy future for our families. DREF and the National Panelist Council are collaborating to promote a National Institutes of Health All of Us research program. So tonight, our guest presenters are Jennifer J.J. Jones, who's a program director, Dr. Marie Dixon, special project coordinator with DREF Research Matters, and Dr. Kimio Williams, volunteer and training coordinator with DREF Research Matters. So we believe that our health is our wealth. You're going to listen in, and Simone is going to go first, introducing Miss JJ to all of us.
Hey, everybody, I'm back again. So listen, I'm going to introduce you to Simone J.J. Jones, okay? I'm going to read a condensed version of her bio, and then we're going to bring her up. So Miss Jennifer M. Jones is the Executive Director of Student Development at Southern Methodist University, where she has been employed for over 30 years. 16 of those years in various positions within residence life and student housing. She is presently the immediate past president of the National Pan-Hellenic Council and has also served as the past national first vice president of the National Pan-Hellenic Council and regional secretary for the Southwestern region of NPHC. In various capacities, Ms. Jones has given workshops and spoken on college campuses across the country, from diversity and inclusion workshops to being the keynote speaker at national conventions and conferences. She's been a consultant for a number of universities and participates as an assessor with the Fraternity and Sorority Coalition Project. She was one of the first to serve as a board of trustee on the Circle of Sisterhood Foundation, whose mission is to leverage the collective influence of sorority women to raise financial resources for entities around the world that are removing educational barriers for girls and women facing poverty and oppression. She was actively a part of the Body and Soul Ministry in Dallas, Texas for 17 years, where she fed the homeless on the 4th Saturday of each month. Currently, she serves as youth ministry director at Christian Stronghold Church in Dallas, Texas. Jones has won numerous awards, such as SMU M Award, which is the most prestigious award one can receive from the university. Miss Jennifer M. Jones received her BA in sociology and a Master of Liberal Arts from Southern Methodist University. She became a member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated at Prairie View A&M University. And I just got to put a pin. I know a lot of y'all think I'm a Delta. I'm not. I actually played Zeta. So she's my Sarah from Prairie View, Texas. And she's currently a member of the Kappa Zeta chapter in Dallas, Texas. She is the wife of Tommy Lee Jones and the mother of 3 sons, 1 daughter, and 6 beautiful children. So the L.I.V.E team, please welcome Simone J.J. Jones.
Thank you.
Welcome for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us, Ms. Jones. Now, you guys, I have the privilege and the honor to introduce our next guest. Her name is Dr. Maria Smith Dixon. Dr. Maria Smith Dixon is a native of Jackson, Mississippi. She earned her bachelor's and master's in biology from Jackson State University. I know we have some Jackson State folks out there.
Mhm.
In 2017, Dr. Dixon became, listen to this, y'all, the first African-American woman to earn a PhD in microbiology from the University of Kentucky. What?
Yes.
What?
Her dissertation research focused on developmental genes that are misregulated during liver development, disease, and cancer. So following her doctoral studies, she began her postdoctoral fellowship as a breast cancer research fellow of a unique collaboration between North Carolina Central University and Duke Cancer Institute, which was funded by the National Cancer Institute Center to reduce cancer health disparities. Her postdoctoral studies focused on understanding the biology and differential expression profiles of inflammatory breast cancer in African Americans. She received multidisciplinary training in cancer health disparities research, and Dr. Dixon is very passionate about understanding cancer health disparities that impact the African American community. She has enthusiastically immersed herself in community engagement outreach opportunities by facilitating awareness campaigns and the aggressiveness increased mortality of inflammatory breast cancer in African American women. Currently, Dr. Dixon is a scientist at BioAgilitex Labs in Durham, North Carolina. Additionally, she serves as an ambassador and the Special Projects Coordinator for the Delta Research Educational Foundation's Research Matters for All of Us research program. She is a proud wife and mother of a beautiful baby girl. She is passionate about creating opportunities that will bridge the gap of biomedical breakthroughs from the bench to the bedside to world peace. Her motto is never let anyone determine your destiny. Everyone help me welcome Dr. Maria Smith Dixon.
Hey, my Taurus and Delta Sigma.
Right? We want to be clear.
That's all right, Simone.
And good evening. I have the distinctive pleasure and honor to introduce to you the incomparable, the one and only Dr. Kimio Harris Williams. Dr. Williams is board certified by the American Board of Pediatrics and a fellow from the American Academy of Pediatrics. She's a native of New Orleans, Louisiana. Educating her patients and encouraging healthy habits has been the foundational framework of her practice of medicine. She strongly supports health advocacy and empowers her patients and her parents to be intentional regarding their health and their wellness. She graduated cum laude, receiving a Bachelor of Science degree in biology pre-med from Xavier University in Louisiana. Upon completion of her studies at Xavier, she embarked upon a career in research at the Department of Pulmonary Critical Care at Louisiana State University School of Medicine. While working as a senior research associate, Dr. Williams co-authored several research articles. Shortly thereafter, she received her Doctor of Medicine degree from Louisiana State University School of Medicine in New Orleans and completed her pediatric residency training at Children's Hospital in New Orleans and LSU Health Sciences Center for Pediatric Residency Program. Dr. Williams' career includes academic and clinical medicine as a faculty member at Phoebe Putney Memorial Hospital, family practice residency program in Albany, Georgia, and an assistant professor at the Department of Family Medicine at Mercer University School of Medicine. She enjoyed mentoring and teaching physician residents and medical students the art of pediatrics. Thereafter, she joined a large pediatric practice and was offered partnership within a year of joining. However, after 3 years of the partner, she courageously left and co-founded, owned, and operated her own private pediatric practice in Houma, Louisiana. Dr. Williams has practiced medicine in Houma for over 16 years, and she's practiced medicine for over 20 years total. She's affiliated with the Delta Research Educational Foundation Research Matters for All of Us program under the National Institutes of Health All of Us research program, and is the founder and CEO of K.H. Williams Enterprises Incorporated. She was the inaugural author of the Women's Health section in the Governor of Louisiana's Wife, First Lady Donna Edwards, Louisiana First Foundation's monthly blog, and has authored several articles thereafter. Dr. Williams, along with her husband, recently established the Community of Love, a nonprofit organization focused on education and empowerment in the areas of leadership, life literacy, outreach and opportunity, vision, and economic ecosystems. Personally, Dr. Williams cherishes being a wife, a mother of 2, and a bonus mother of 3 and grandmother of 3. She is passionate about cultivating relationships, about personally and professionally. Her personal mission is embracing professionalism and community with compassion and influence. And I can say I've worked side by side with Dr. Williams on several projects, and she lives that mission. Welcome my beautiful soror, Dr. Kimio Harris Williams.
Hello.
Just okay. Okay, JJ, you are going to lead this panel in this discussion. So tag, you're it.
I have caught the tag. I am so motivated and honored by you amazing women. Y'all are doing it. Like, I am so inspired about being here and being with all of you. Y'all, you just make my heart go boop, boop, boop. So we're gonna get down to business. Again, it is a pleasure to be here and to be a part of this conversation. We're going to bring you a lot of information. You've heard over and over this All of Us research program. You've heard about research in general. So I'm going to just open it up by asking questions from our expert, Dr. Williams and Dr. Dixon, just to get us kind of aligned and ready for what we're going to hear later. So I just want to put this out there. What exactly is research? Like, what is research, and how do we use research on a daily basis, like just in regular life?
So for me, I will speak to that. First of all, I want to thank the L.I.V.E series team for having us here today. We are so excited to be here and all that you all are doing. I've had the opportunity to see some of your other webinars, and as a homeschooling mom, it's really, really helped me gain some understanding and assistance in this homeschooling process. So thank you. But as far as research is concerned, I see research as a careful and detailed study into specific problems, concerns, and issues using a scientific method. So we look at and identify problems, clarify the problems, create an hypothesis, and then we look at different methods to solve those problems, different methodologies to solve those problems. We organize the data, we collect the data, we come up with a result, come up with a conclusion, and we go back to that problem and see, did that project, did that experiment prove or disprove that research project? And that's just from a technical standpoint. From a personal standpoint, being involved in research and looking at research in different areas of research. Research is personal. Research helps each individual. And if you look at your life, you don't realize how much research impacts your life. But research is a vital part of the medical community. And it also involves other disciplines, education. Research is involved in so many disciplines that affect every aspect of your world. So that's just a high level of research. I'm sure we'll get into some more detail. Dr. Dixon.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head, Dr. Williams. But to go even further, when I think about research, to make it more, simpler for our audience, I think about who, what, when, where, why, and how. So who is about identifying populations that are affected by different illnesses or ailments. What specific diseases, cancers, illnesses are they affected by? When, at what point are these people diagnosed and treated correctly? Because oftentimes, you're diagnosed too late. And if you're treated, it's oftentimes not the right treatment. Where, your geographic location and your environment plays a major role in your health. Why? Why are certain populations affected disproportionately than others? And how? How does this disease or this illness affect the body, both physically, mentally, and if and how these genes are being affected during this process? So I think, what we're talking about now will bring some great perspective about what research is. Our community has had, some distrust with the medical community, but I think that by us bringing this information to the viewers, then they will give them some sense of peace about what's happening with the research that's happening now.
Great. I mean, and I think that, I mean, this is amazing to have the two of you here, because as I look into my community, the Black community, there's not many researchers or doctors of color, particularly Black people, but specifically women, Black women. So I just want to know, what made you decide that this was the career path that you wanted to take? What got you excited about this and kept you here, actually?
Okay, I'll go first. So I grew up in the heart of Mississippi, Jackson, Mississippi. Shout out to Jackson, Mississippi. And so, you know, being from the South and being from Mississippi, you oftentimes hear Mississippi is at the bottom of everything when it comes to health. So, you know, you have increased high blood pressure, diabetes, because, you know, we eat really, really good food, but it can be really, really bad for your body. But more importantly, when I was in high school, my grandfather was diagnosed with ALS in May, and he passed away that following August. So going down that path, I saw my grandfather deteriorate very rapidly. But more importantly, my family wasn't really aware about what ALS was. You know, we heard about Lou Gehrig's disease, but we really didn't know, like, if there were potential treatments, you know, what causes it. Right now, I mean, there are some treatments out there, but there is no cure for ALS. At that same time, I had a cousin that was diagnosed with breast cancer. And with African American women with breast cancer, I'm not sure a lot of you all know that we are disproportionately affected by breast cancer. And watching her go through that process as a young 16, 17-year-old, it's like, okay, I feel like I have to do something. I have to make a major impact because this can potentially affect me. So, you know, I have this personal connection with, you know, different cancers that have occurred to me. You know, a lot of my family members have passed away from different cancers. And, you know, I had African American science teachers, but when I went to college, they were none and void, you know, especially when I went to grad school. I had not one African American female professor in grad school. And so that just added more layers to my passion of, you know, I want to give back. I want these young girls to know that, you know, although you may not see us out there, there are a lot of us out there that are doing great things in science, great things in research. I'm a part of a platform called Black Women PhDs. And so if you go to Instagram, you can look at Black Women PhDs and you will see a lot of us out there doing it, and we're doing it well. So that led to my passion of wanting to go into research, and just, you know, maybe one day I will find that cure to cancer.
Right. I love it. Dr. Kimio.
So for me, I guess I'll take it from a different perspective. I didn't have anyone in my family to pass away from any particular disease process, you know, during my training or as I was growing up. But fundamentally, I focused my study in the field of STEM because I enjoyed it. It was something that I enjoyed. So in grade school, I loved math. I was always advanced in math. I loved science. And it just was it's the way I'm wired. Like, I enjoy the concrete nature of math and science and the cause and effect of science. You know, I just enjoy that. And so, you know, even looking into mentoring some kids that I may mentor, and I tell them, you know, work with what you like. You know, what are you good at? What do you like doing? And that's where it led me. You know, that's what I like. That was my passion. And so when I looked at medicine and I looked at the career in medicine, I'm just going to be transparent with everybody. I looked at medicine, you know, my choice in medicine was multifactorial. You know, like I said, I didn't have anybody in my family to pass, but I wanted to make a difference. I wanted to help other people, help people in their lives personally, all while carrying an enormous responsibility regarding to their well-being. So I found medicine to be challenging. I thought it would be a great point of helping others, and also feeding the things that I love to do. Like, I like science, I like math, I want to know more about that. So that was just like a great combination. But I didn't have any doctors in my family. Like I don't have any physicians in my family. So, that was a dream of mine that I didn't know if I could attain it because I'm the first medical doctor in my family. So to be honest, I didn't have anything to look up to, but I was determined to make that dream a reality. And reflectively, y'all might laugh about this, but I looked at the Cosby Show as an image of what my be like that was like, oh, I could do that,
Yes.
and I know it was fictional. I knew it was fictional, but just the idea, just looking at, that was like a driving force in what I wanted to do, right? So, those things were very impactful. And to have a career in medicine that will provide a road of influence and opportunity for a comfortable life and multiple job options, that was just like, that was a driver for me as becoming a medical doctor. So that's why I am who I am and what I do.
I love it. And I'm glad that you did. I know that growing up, I loved math, but I did shy away from science. And I don't even think it was because I couldn't do science, because all my science classes I passed. But I think that I had teachers that discouraged that. And now at getting older, I really believe it was because of who I was, that they discouraged me from being in science classes or really pursuing that, because I really believe that I could have pursued that. So why is it important, I think, for us as mentors, as teachers, as parents, to encourage our Black children to be involved in those programs, to not to fear math or not to fear science, but be engaged and being, like you said, Dr. Kimber, you need to follow your passion. Like, how do we encourage that? Why is it important that we encourage that?
I wanted to comment on this too, as Dr. Dixon had to say. Attending Xavier University and seeing all of our professors were most 90% of our professors were African American.
Wow.
So, we could see people actually working and walking in what we wanted to do. And that was so impactful. So that is actually a major reason why we should encourage African American kids to pursue those careers, because if they see us, they see themselves.
Right.
And they can do it. So it's very important because of the opportunities and the way that economy is. That's the wave of the future. STEM is the way of the future, or STEAM is the way of the future. And so we should actually be visible to these students so they can see us walking in some things that they're walking in, So I just think that it's important for us to continue to encourage our students. And as an educator, and I call myself educator because I'm homeschooling, right? Not really
educator. You're educator. You're educator. But, you're giving that knowledge now.
So, as an educator, you don't know where that third grader is going to end up or where they want to be. So you have to instill and encourage them from that grade. If you see in them that they enjoy science, nurture that in them so they can continue to enjoy science. There are several programs that they can participate in after school, in the summers, all of that stuff. So, those are some important areas I think that we can invest in the youth in that area.
And I also wanted to comment, when I was in middle school, that's when I started doing science projects. Actually, my first favorite teacher was my science teacher. But one thing that I noticed nowadays, that a lot of kids think science projects are boring. So we have to encourage that they're not boring. I think they're real fascinating. Actually, my daughter is 1 year old, and I'm already teaching her how to do little mini science projects. So I definitely agree. We have to encourage our children, especially when we see those who have this interest in science, because science and math go hand in hand, actually. So we have to encourage our kids to pursue what their passion is.
I love it. Well, I have one of my 6-year-old grandson. He said he's going to be a scientist, an engineer, and a ninja. So I'll encourage him because he loves science. Like to see him just love experimenting and drawing up plans. It's just amazing to see. So I think what you said is just a blessing that we have to encourage what we see, because we as parents see those things. Grandparents, we see those little things and those little trickles of light that they get excited about. And we have to encourage that. So thank you so much for that. So Dr. Cameo, you talked about your practice a little bit. Can you talk to us a little bit more about you being a pediatric doctor, what that's meant to you, and what you've learned just by working in that field?
So being a board certified pediatrician has been a wonderful experience. I've learned so much, even learned from my patients, learned about, and not just medical, on the medical side, on the research side. I worked in research, worked with pediatric patients, and just to tie it back to research, research is a vital part of medical practice overall. Research is what develops evidence-based medicine, which is what we practice as medical doctors. I can't just go into a patient's room and do whatever I think in my head that, will work for them. I have to practice evidence-based medicine. That's what my oath said. I have to do what's best for the patients. So just being a pediatrician, forming relationships with patients, and now I'm taking care of my patients' patients. I've started taking care of my patients' patients because I've been doing it for so long. And you develop a relationship and a bond and a connection with the patients, and patients trust you, and they call you about stuff that don't have anything to do with medicine. So, I love it. It's been an absolutely wonderful experience. And, medicine, pediatrics, educators, pediatricians, educators, and parents, we work together as a team to take care of the kids, my patients, their students. We all work together, and research is a big part of that. Research, we do a lot of vaccines as pediatricians. And so as the vaccines research is done, vaccines are created, we educate the teachers about it, we educate the parents. There are a lot of different pediatric diagnoses that we work with educators to help care for the kids even at school. I'm sure everybody has heard of ADHD. There are a lot of different medications that we use to treat that diagnosis, amphetamines, stuff like Adderall, methylphenidate, stuff like concerta. Oh, I'm muted. I've been talking all that time and I'm muted.
No, just for a second.
Okay. All of those medicines that treat ADHD, we use research to understand how those medications work and affect the body. And we collaborate with parents and educators on how best to treat those patients. So those medications, they have different formulations, different doses, different, some are long acting, some are short acting. So all of those things, and we talk about the side effects with the parents, with the teachers. So we work as a community to take care of my patients and the educators, students. We work together. So as a pediatrician, that is a big plus, because I like to work as a community.
I love it. I love it. And it takes a village, Dr. Williams. It really does take a village. And I love the way that just talking to you make me feel like you have made your field human. Because some doctors go in and it's just that 15-minute they're in and out. But you have owned this and you have humanized your field. And it takes a village. And I thank you so much for all that you do and will continue to do. So, Dr. Dixon, you talked about some of your research, and I'm going to just put this up here. You see that? Survivor.
That's right.
I am a survivor of breast cancer twice.
Awesome.
So I want you to just talk a little bit more about what are some of the recent things diseases that you've researched just recently that you've been studying.
Okay. And to go back to Dr. Williams, I use her too. She's an awesome pediatrician. Every time something's going on with my baby, I call Dr. Williams and say, hey, something's wrong. Can you help me out? So she is awesome. Awesome. And so to answer your question, Ms. Jones, I would consider myself as a cancer biology researcher. So during my master's, I did research on glioblastomas, which is a high grade brain cancer. And then when I pursued my doctoral studies, I worked on liver cancer. That was particularly interesting how I got into that field because my paternal grandmother actually passed away from liver cancer. So I had that personal connection to liver cancer. But I would say that I'm more so on the basic science side of research, which means I'm not really interacting with patients, but I'm looking up molecular mechanisms, why these different processes and how does it happen, looking at different genes. But currently, well, not currently, not there anymore, but more recently, I've been working on inflammatory breast cancer, which is the most aggressive, the most deadly type of breast cancer that disproportionately affects African American women, not just African American women, young African American women. When I say young, I say 24, 25 years old. And one thing that I have found by doing this type of research, that a lot of women that are young African American women, they don't know about this type of research, or this type of cancer, I should say. So what inflammatory breast cancer is basically triple negative, where you don't have all your receptors. But in addition to being triple negative, these patients often don't form a solid tumor. So it's hard to detect. You can't detect it on a basic 2D mammogram. You have to get a 3D mammogram. And they form what they call a tumor emboli. So they're very flat. So that's why oftentimes it's not detected until it's almost too late. It's very aggressive. Because you don't have these receptors, there aren't many drug targets that can cure this type of cancer. And so it has become my passion to bring about awareness about inflammatory breast cancer. It disproportionately affects young African American women. And we need to know what's going on with us. Our doctors do tell us, do your self-examinations, but this type of breast cancer does not often form a solid tumor. So we have to go beyond just doing our self-examination, go beyond doing 2D mammograms. We have to, for me, I'm 30 something years old. And I'm thinking about getting a 3D mammogram because I do have that family history of breast cancer. So I feel like it's very important that our community is aware because it's so rapid, it's so invasive, and we go down really, really quickly.
Can I comment on that before you continue? My first cousin actually passed away from that type of breast cancer, and it was very rapid. It was a surprise. She was young. She wasn't 30, but she was in her 50s, and it's very aggressive, and it's very important for us as women to make sure that we stay on top of. She missed her mammogram, which maybe it would have not been detected. But since then I've had that 3D mammogram, and it's important for us to stay on top of. And I'm an advocate for women, even though I'm a pediatrician. I'm an advocate for women. When I was in med school, I either did OB. I was either going to do OB or ped, so I can't get away from the women. But I just want to stress that we as women have to continue to be intentional about being healthy and keeping those appointments. So,
and that's the kind of cancer I had, triple negative, right here.
Yeah, and that's not the kind you want, but thank God you are still here, and you're pushing. You're a survivor.
Oh yeah.
Yes. But
I'm sorry.
So I've actually done town halls here in North Carolina at our Women's Health Awareness Day, speaking about inflammatory breast cancer, and it's just so alarming that a lot of our Black women do not know about this type of breast cancer. We know a lot of people know about triple negative, but in addition to it being triple negative, it has these other hallmark features. And, you know, your breast can get inflamed. It looks like you have a rash on your breast. It not only affects your breast, it goes into your lymph nodes. So there are unique hallmarks of this type of breast cancer. And I just want, you know, our viewers to know that, you know, if you see something that don't look right, make sure you go to the doctor. Don't wait. Don't push it off.
And it's not just, it doesn't just present as a lump. Like she said, my cousins presented, and people that I've known who had it presented as GI symptoms. You know, she had GI symptoms. She didn't have any, you know, other type of symptoms with GI. So yeah, don't let anything, if anything is abnormal, you know, get it checked out.
Exactly.
I lost her flow.
I lost it that quick. But in addition, as far as for my research, how do I research inflammatory breast cancer? There are breast cancer cell line models. So these are cells that have been extracted from humans. But one thing that I have had a major issue is getting these cell lines from an African American patient. You know, this is where that disparity is. Inflammatory breast cancer is a disparity in the African American community, and not having enough samples to look at the differences in genetics between an African American woman and a Caucasian or any other race makes my research hard to, you know, identify what are these molecular mechanisms that are causing this aggressiveness, that's causing this increased mortality in African American women. And so that leads me to, you know, it's very important that our community participate in clinical trials. Now, I understand that, you know, our has this distrust because of the Tuskegee experiments and the Henrietta Lacks case. But there are policies and procedures that have been put into place to make sure that those things do not occur again. You know, although we have this measure distrust, you have researchers that look like me, African American, young African American woman that is making sure that we get answers to these problems. We get answers to why are we dying from these different illnesses? Why are we dying from cancers? As opposed to our counterparts, you know, they get diagnosed, but they're living, but we're dying. And so because African Americans are subjected to these different types of cancer disparities, you know, even when it comes to, you know, what we're dealing with now with COVID-19, you know, we're dying from COVID-19. So COVID-19 is a disparity in the African American community. And so when you think about it, you know, when you go to the doctor and they prescribe you medication, that medication is based off a 60-something white male. And so when you take that medication that they prescribe off of a 60-something white male, that may not work for you. You may have adverse reactions. So that's why it's very important to have diversity in clinical trials. We're supposed to have a video to talk about diversity in
done in medicine over the years has not really taken into account individual differences. And this is an opportunity to be part of something historic.
Most studies and most clinical trials have always been with the average white male. So as we start thinking about this in the context of building trust, I think we get back that trust by involving the community. Not saying you come to us or we'll just do things to you. We're going to do things with you and in fact allow that information to be accessible to you, the individual.
You're going to have some individuals that are going to say, yes, good, we're getting in on the ground level of a study. And then you're going to have those that have some trepidations about it. My thing is to bring them aboard and let them know that this is for the greater good for them. We have input, and, you know, without input, there's no buy-in. And without buy-in, there's no commitment. Without commitment, there's no success.
Tuskegee happened. You know, we're not trying to hide that or sweep it under the rug, but communities of color will be at a disadvantage if we do not find ways to get by that, whether the focus is asthma, whether the focus is infant mortality, whether the focus is diabetes, cancer, or heart disease, communities of color are disproportionately impacted by them.
It has always been playing catch up to make sure that they're even getting access, much less minimum service. Low income, underserved, and people of color are oftentimes very generous in giving something if they understand it. And they always do so with the intention that knowing this is not just about me, this is not just even about my family, it is about helping the community down the road.
Being able to bring the Asian American population who is never at the table, not only to contribute to science, but to contribute to our ability to understand the nuances within those populations. I think it will provide a huge national data set so we can ask questions and make discoveries about healthcare that will better their own personal health and those of the communities that they are part of.
Diversity strengthens the science. It could bridge some civil rights issues and inequities in healthcare across all races and ethnicities and culture.
As a community of color, underrepresented, hidden, underserved, what would happen if you were not at the table? It is an issue of equity and it's an issue of justice as well.
It is important for minorities to be a part of this, or we will again be left with medications that are created for really other populations. I'm hopeful that we will be overwhelmed with folk.
Always look at Henrietta Lacks, one person, one African American woman that has been so instrumental in what we're learning today. I think as we look at that story, and if we can convey that message in a more positive way, then they can see the benefit of what her life represents. I think it's an excellent way to discover who we really are and our true potential.
Okay, so I'm going to shift gears a little bit because at the beginning of the program, we talked about the All of Us research program. You kind of heard about that. I'm going to give you a little general idea of what that's all about, and then we'll share a little bit more information after that. But the All of Us research program is a historic and innovative program designed to gather 1 million participants to create a database for clinical research. This program strives for a database encompassing volunteers of all backgrounds with a focus on minority or underrepresented population. This includes communities who have historically had insignificant representation in medical research, such as African Americans, Hispanics, Asians, and Native Americans. The program was created as a result of Precision Medicine Initiative, announced during the State of the Union address on January the 30th, 2015, by the 44th President of the United States, President Barack Obama. He stated that doctors have always recognized that every patient is unique, and doctors have always tried to tailor their treatments as best they can to individuals. You can match a blood transfusion to a blood type, which is a very important discovery. But what if matching a cancer care to your genetic code was just as easy, or just a standard? What if figuring out the right dose of medicine was as simple as taking your temperature? During President Obama's administration, the Precision Medicine Initiative was launched to advance and accelerate biomedical research in precision medicine. Precision medicine is defined as an emerging approach for disease treatment and prevention and takes into account individual variabilities in genes, environment, and their lifestyle for each person. It can be summed up as individualized healthcare based upon the factors that make each person different and unique. Some basic examples of personalized medicine includes your prescription glasses, insulin use, hearing aids, which are all tailored to that individual that's using them. So I said initially in my introduction, we talked about that I worked with the Black Greek Lettering Consortium. And that is comprised of the 9 historically Black Greek letter organizations and the collaborative body of the NPHC. And we've united to promote the importance of precision medicine and the participation in clinical research. We recognize that the instances like Tuskegee syphilis experiment and the Henrietta Lacks stories have caused distrust within the Black community and resistance towards getting involved. We use this knowledge as a driving force to develop campaigns, policies, and opportunities that will uplift and support Black people in the community. Through each organization's national presidents, social media, and on-site activities at various events, we are working together to help generate the diverse database of volunteers needed to get to that 1 million or more volunteers. So what we've been doing over the last almost 3 years is BGLC has also been working with DREF, the Delta Research and Education Foundation, to go about and share the information, to bring the education about what All of Us is all about. And, you know, within our organizations, we have educators within NPHC, all the Divine Nine. There's educators that works there. So we see ourselves as educators. And a part of our education is delivering what we know to you that deals with this program, as well as precision medicine. So we're going to show you a short video that shows you the collaboration that we've had with DREF and some other partners during this trial. So what we're going to show you is actually when we went to a college, actually to Dr. Kimio's alma mater, to present to them what All of Us is all about.
Champion for your own health, and that means you go and get the information. That's the Black history, any kind of history. You can tell. They're only going to tell you what they want you to know. You go beyond that, because I even thought about doing this much. You know, they tell all these things that Black people invented. Everything we invented was out of necessity. Right. Stop like everything. But we've done a lot of stuff and we've not gotten credit for it. But your generation, you have the opportunity to make the change that we want to see with all of this stuff.
Well, I got a little passionate there, Dr. Kimio. So, just a little passionate. So, Dr. Kimio and Dr. Dixon, if you could just kind of tell what your role has been with working with the All of Us research program.
So, with me, I've been with the All of Us research program since really 2018, but I started working with DREF 2019, and I serve as the training and volunteer.
You muted yourself, Dr. Kimio.
Okay, so I started working with the Delta Research and y'all, I was muted the whole time?
No, not the whole time.
Okay.
Just a couple seconds.
So, I am the training and volunteer coordinator for the Delta Research and Educational Foundation's Research Matters for All of Us program, under the All of Us research program. And so I train the volunteers across the country. We are a national community engagement partner for the program. And so we are one of 5 of the national community engagement partners. And we conduct engaging our community about the All of Us research program and about the importance of participating in biomedical research. So I'm like out training all of the, not out, but training all of the volunteers, the ambassadors. And that's actually how I met Dr. Dixon.
Yes. So I also am an ambassador for the All of Us research program. My role is to go out into my local community, which is Durham, North Carolina, Raleigh-Durham area. And I talk to the community about the importance of research, the importance of the All of Us research program. I also am the special projects coordinator. I started working with DREF this year, actually, as the special projects coordinator. It's just amazing how God has greater things planned for you, because I actually started off as a volunteer. And so, working with the program has been absolutely amazing.
It truly has. And if you want to learn more about the All of Us Research Program, you could actually go to their website at www.joinallofus.org/DREF. So we'll put that in the chat so you can get that. So I think we have run out of time, and I will turn it over to Miss Isis. That's the person I'm supposed to turn it over to? There she is.
Yes, it's me. You are right. Thank you, ladies, so much for this conversation. It was very informative. And while you all were giving the information, I thought about my grandmother, who passed away from cancer in 2016, and it was very, very rare. Like, we still don't even know a name for the cancer that she had. So I thought about her a lot during the presentation. And then one of my mentors that is really close to me, that battled with breast cancer as well, and she's a survivor. So I thought about those two individuals specifically when you guys were speaking. But then I started to think about my students and why this conversation is so important to the educators that are classroom teachers, because I wonder, why do I need to know about medicine and research? And the answer that I gathered was that what you guys are saying and what I experienced represent the parents and the grandparents that are raising the children that I teach. So it's important for us to know about these things so that we can give the information to them so that they live healthy lives for the children that we serve. So I thank you guys so much for this information. I'm gonna get my emotions and everything together, because just thinking about what we can prevent with the right knowledge and information, it just gets me emotional. So we'll move forward, because we did have a question. Miss Yolanda wanted to know how you get this information in front of high school students and young women, specifically Dr. Dixon. When you were talking about the cancer piece of it, she raised the question of how do you get that information to them so that they know the precautions that they need to take?
Okay, great question. So actually, I have been doing awareness campaigns. The recent one that I've done has been at a Women's Health Awareness Day, which is a health fair of women of all ages, even children, come to this health fair. And we host these town halls. And at the different town halls, we talked about different, hair care, talked about your health, talked about your wellness. And not only do I host awareness campaigns, on that broad spectrum, you can pre-COVID, you can go to the beauty shop, you talk about it, to your family. There's a numerous ways that you can, get this information out. I can also go into, well, not now, but go into high schools and, talk about it on college campuses, partnering with, the sororities, because the sororities do have a major impact in my experience on the HBCU campus, partnering with these sororities and bringing about, this information to these young ladies, because it does affect young African-American women.
Right.
I think another way too is, and I'm gonna make it brief because I know our time has been well spent, but your pediatrician should bring these things up in regular visits to the doctor. Also, some schools have school-based clinics, so sometimes you can get that information from those school-based clinics. Everybody may not go to, they may not seek out the information, but if we're educating the parents, like we said earlier, it takes a village. So if we're educating somebody in the family, if there's a advocate in the family, and I would advocate that, if you're in a family and you are health conscious, talk to the young people about it. They want to hear it, but you got to talk to them on their level, right? But it takes all of us. It takes everybody, all of us, right? It takes
literally
1 in a million.
I think I'll close it there.
Right. So this is our BYOV segment for those of you that are joining us for the first time. So this is the opportunity where you actually get to bring in your own voice, ask those questions. and just get clarity if there was anything that you didn't understand. So we do have another question from Yolanda. She was asking, are there any health fairs virtually, because we are home, most of us right now, that she can add to a curriculum?
Virtual health fairs. Now we have, DREF has been having virtual engagement, and we definitely welcome you to go and view those engagements, and you can create your own virtual event by replaying some of our events. We also, we'll be doing things in the future. You can always go on the All of Us website if you're interested in learning more, and you can host your own All of Us, if you want to expose your family and friends to the All of Us research program. You can go on YouTube. There are several different videos that you can look at. If you're interested in more information about other conditions, like what Dr. Dixon talked about with breast cancer, you can always call, the American Cancer Society. I'm sure they're holding, webinars. All that information is actually out there. We just have to go in and plug in and look it up.
Right.
And you can also, with what we do, because we work within the community as well, you can actually contact me as a program lead for BGLC. You can definitely contact me and I can get you connected to whatever that is, because we are getting ready to activate in different virtually all over the place. So if there's opportunities that we can connect you with us and doing something like that, we would be more than happy to assist you with that.
Dr. Dixon, did you want to add to that piece, or
they hit the nail on the head?
All right, awesome. Okay, and Yolanda said thanks. She teaches high school, and she's gonna replay it for her students. So awesome.
So can I add one thing? Actually, the program, the All of Us research program, is only for those 18 years or older. So I just want to make sure that we understand and reiterate that point.
Yep, that's a great.
Okay. Awesome. All right. Once again, thank you guys so much for joining. This information was amazing. If you came in on the tail end of it, replay it, because there's going to be some information that you're going to want to use and to share. And I'm going to bring up my L.I.V.E team member, Simone.
Ladies, thank you so very much. I didn't know all of what you guys was talking about, but this was very dear to me. My aunt, she would be 55 tomorrow, but she passed away in 2011 from aggressive breast cancer. And so this hit a special place tonight. Thank you for making us aware of this. Thank you for sharing with such passion and joy. I really appreciate it. So on behalf of the L.I.V.E team, Simone J.J. Jones, we want to say thank you so much for coming up here tonight. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much for moderating this. To Dr. Kimio Williams, we appreciate what you're doing. Thank you for being a pediatric who really do care, who's in partnership with us as a classroom teacher. I see we have to fill out those forms, and you send them and we fill out the forms. So thank you so much for partnering with us. And to Dr. Dixon, I'm a North Carolina girl, so you're right in my area. My aunt was going to Chapel Hill for those for those diagnosed. So thank you so much on behalf of the L.I.V.E team. God bless you, ladies. Continue to do the work, continue to share the message, and this was really amazing. So thank you, ladies, again so much.
Thank you.
Thank you
for having us.
Thank you so much. Isis, I will turn it back over to, I believe it's Keishla that's going to be up next.
All right. Well, again, thank you, ladies. You get to hang out with me until we get ready to close out, I guess. So this will work. So right now, again, oh, no, they're taking you out. Y'all didn't tell me that was about to happen. All right. Well, again, thank you, everyone, for joining us today. If you thought tonight was good, and it was, if you thought tonight was amazing and phenomenal, be sure to join us Thursday. This Thursday, we have 2 African-American female superintendents. This isn't the correct flyer, but we'll get the correct one up. There it is. 2 African-American female superintendents, you guys. Superintendents of large school districts, Dr. Monica Golston, Dr. Sonia Santelises. They're going to share with us equity strategies for uncertain times. So you want to talk to the superintendents? They'll be here Thursday. So be sure to join us this Thursday, 6:30 p.m., 5:30 Central. Also, be sure to complete the survey. We continue to welcome your feedback and continue to welcome the information that you're sharing with us. We hope that you are seeing the difference. We hope that that information is being displayed as we continue to grow in our shows and our service to you. At this time, we're going to draw our names. If you complete the survey, your name goes into a drawing for a Visa gift card. And so we're going to go ahead and draw our names from last week. Our first winner is, go to the name before it, Bettina Pope. Congratulations, Miss Pope, Bettina Pope. And our second winner is, well. Uh-oh. We can't give it to Pope twice, so we'll give it to Lavada Taylor. Dr. Lavada Taylor and Bettina Pope are our winners for this week. Well, again, I want to bring in back the L.I.V.E team as we get ready to close out. We want to thank you guys again for joining us. Be sure to like us on social media, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. Like us, sign up for our notifications so that you will know when we are going live. Don't forget to be here this Thursday. It's going to be really good. Check out our outro video and our podcast. We have so much going on, you guys, but it's really good stuff. So get connected. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you Thursday.
Bye.
We got to fight against them, but we need numbers. We need to show up at school board meetings. We need to show up at county commissioner meetings. We need to have someone on the agenda to talk and know what they're talking about to advocate.
So that's the whole goal, just to be better, to come with the new knowledge, come with the new awareness,